All right, let's do this. So you guys, this has been such a fun series up to this point, and I find that this timing of this training is so perfect because a lot of you are in a position where you're ready to duplicate your business. We've talked about reaching out to people. We've talked about posting on Facebook and social media and signing people up. But truly the magic of our profession, of our business, is that this is a leveraged income. So you get to earn an income not only on your own efforts, but on that of a team as you help and lead and teach and train your team and help it duplicate. That's truly the magic of this business. Because if you think of, I just look at my own numbers. I mean, I personally have enrolled about 180 people into Isogenics, but our team as a whole is about 1,800. So my income is based on a team that's tenfold the number that I brought in personally. And that is the power of this business. And I think it's amazing that in network marketing we have this opportunity. Now, in Isogenics, we are so privileged that from day one, it helps you to help your team. Believe it or not, there are other companies, and I've been in conversation with another friend in our team who is going to be running with us very soon, in another company that she only gets credit, she only gets paid for her personally enrolled. Very far into her team. She's already a leader, but she's not getting paid as such because of certain, rules and regulations within the compensation plan. In Isogenics, from day one, it helps you to grow your team. So what duplication is about in Isogenics is creating consultants. So tonight, I'm going to share with you 3 skills. My phone's moving. Excuse me. Three skills to build consultants. I'll tell you this is an experiment with this light. 3 skills plus 3 steps to build consultants and a couple tips. Which is key. So what is a consultant? A consultant, this is the foundation of you building and duplicating your business. And a consultant is an active associate who has 2 personally enrolled associates, one on the left and one on the right, active at the same time. When that happens, that person is promoted from associate to consultant. And if you remember in our compensation reviews, this gives them a $50 bonus for that rank advancement, and it also opens the doors to residual income. So 2 people is key, and isn't it fascinating that 2 people is all it takes? Technically, somebody could max out the compensation plan with 2 people if those 2 people happen to be superstars, or those 2 people bring in people who are superstars. But that doesn't happen typically, but it could, and I think that's great. If everyone just brought in 2 people, we'd all be super successful. So the reality is not everyone's going to bring in 2, but there is a skill around bringing people in and helping people promote to consultant, and that's what we're going to cover tonight. And it is important to recognize it as a skill, because this isn't something that's just going to help you get to your next rank advancement. It will. It's a stair step to manager, it's a stair step to director, and then of course to executive. But the key is not to get to executive and then stop. Because once you get to executive, your income is going to be huge if you stay paid as executive. You'll always have the title of executive, which is 10 personally enrolled consultants, 5 on each side. But the key to your income is maintaining it. And in order to maintain it, creating consultants is a skill. Because not everyone that comes in as your first 10 to get you to executive is going to stay active as a consultant, right? So as long as you're constantly helping promote your people to consultant, you'll always have 5 on the left and 5 on the right so that you can maintain paid as executive. And I believe because I have viewed it as just a habit, as a business skill to continue, once I hit executive, I've never fallen off. I've always maintained paid as executive. I had a few close calls, but I've managed to pull it off. I've never fallen off. And that is why I've earned so much in the leadership pools along the way, and why I earned President's Quest. And all of these things came about because I stayed paid as executive, and I continued to create consultants in my team. So tonight we're going to go over these 3 steps. Ready? Here we go. So number 1 is to be duplicatable. Be duplicatable as you're bringing people in and everything that you do. Because if you make things complicated, your team is going to look at what you did and they'll be really impressed, but they say, I can't do what she does, I can't do what he does. right? And that's the last thing you want in a leveraged business. If you bring somebody in and you're the expert, you're talking about like the science and the ingredients and the athletic part, like, I mean, some of that is important. It's good to have that knowledge for your own posture. But if you're explaining every little tiny detail, they're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. I want the products, but there's no way I can share it with anyone else. I'm never going to be able to answer those types of questions. And that person's never going to duplicate. That's why we have systems in place to make it easy for you and also duplicatable. If you bring someone in and they say, wow, you know, all she did was put me into this Facebook group and then answered a couple questions and message and then got me onto the phone with somebody else who did all the talking for her. I can do that too. And don't you want them to say that? So that's the importance of being duplicatable. So use the tools. The product page, Real People, Real Results, EHP, is one of the most powerful duplicatable systems that we have to share Isagenix that'll help you build consultants. If you use it, your team will use the same thing. Right? As you add people into it, they're gonna know, hey, I learned about the products by being on this group. Well, I'm gonna add my friends to this group so they can learn the same thing and see everyone else's posts. That even keeps them from having to have a personal testimony, because isn't that an objection we get to why people don't share up front about the products? Well, they made the decision based on all the testimonies on the page. Isn't that good enough also for their friend to also see all those testimonies on the page to be able to make a decision? So use the product page. Use the three-way calls. Now, when you grow in your leadership and you become the person requested as a third party on the three-way call, then you can become the expert, right? If you and your friend, your prospect, get on a three-way call with me, you ask me to do a three-way call, then I can be the expert. I'm going to answer the questions. I'm going to answer it like I know it. But if I'm speaking to somebody, it's just the two of us, I'm going to refer them back to an article, to a post, to information, to even a three-way call. I've done three-way calls with Christy about triathlete stuff. You know, then she gets to be the expert. You get somebody on the phone that has a testimony or knowledge that relates to the question that your person asked, and that's going to be duplicatable, because then that person sees that they don't have to know it all. In fact, none of us know it all, but what it shows is that all the tools are available. Okay, so the videos, the product page, three-way calls, use those things, and that'll simplify it. And don't worry yourself about knowing everything, obviously, because it's actually better if you don't show up as the expert in that way. It's more duplicatable if you don't. And also be duplicatable in the sense that you are always enrolling personally, right? A lot of times we get to a certain point, maybe we have 2 people, like, okay, let's get them to consultant, and we stop personally enrolling. Wrong move. First of all, you know, statistically, they're probably not going to be 2 people getting to consultant. It can happen, but you're probably going to have to enroll 5 to 10 to get 2 of them to share with 2 people. Okay, it's just a numbers game. It can happen, but it's important, though, to always be personally enrolling. That way you have more people to talk to about creating consultants, and they see what you're doing, and the more you do it, the more experience you have to help teach them about your experiences. All right, so number 1 in creating consultants is being duplicatable by always personally enrolling and keeping it simple. Okay, number 2 to creating consultants is to help and support creating a raving fan culture around the products. And I'm so excited, Team on Fire, we do this naturally anyway because we are product fans and we sincerely want our people to have an amazing experience. And so that is great also for business, because if we can support people in their transformations, they have great results with the products, that's going to increase the likelihood that they're going to share it naturally with other people, and that other people are going to ask them what's up. The products work great on their own, but as long as we support that, it's great. And I just love how our team interacts. I appreciate you all so much in the team culture that we have created together. Everyone supporting everyone, asking, answering questions, sharing ideas. That's so important to help everyone feel supported in their transformation. And that's also good for business, because as those people have a great experience, a great culture, they're going to be more likely to invite people into that. Okay? Raving fans. So number 1 is be duplicatable. Number 2 is create a culture of raving fans. And number 3, this is a really great one and a really important one, is to ask consultant building questions in almost every conversation. Right? What does that mean? A consultant building question is part of the layering process that gets them thinking about the option and the possibility of sharing. I'm going to give you some examples that you can use at every phase, at every conversation, even before they enroll. When you are presenting the products, if somebody's come to you about the products and you're sharing just about the products alone, they're not interested in the business, it's okay. You can tell them, you can receive referral bonuses. Wouldn't that be fun? And then they, oh yeah, that would be great. So you're already planting that seed that when they refer someone, it's a referral bonus. And if you call it a referral bonus, then that's really all it is. It's a referral bonus back for the people that they refer. So that's one. At the enrollment process, you can ask them, who do you know that you'd like to join you so that you can all be accountability partners together? Right? And they might say nobody, or they might say, you know what, I was thinking my mom might like to do this. But if you don't ask, you never know. But incorporate the questions in every step. Okay? After they've enrolled, they're still waiting for their box. You can ask them or tell them, there's still time that you can invite a couple friends to join you as accountability partners. Who do you know who's also trying to lose weight? Or whatever that person's goal is, who's also trying to run a marathon, who's also trying to gain more energy, who's also a mom looking for good nutrition for her family, right? Whatever her goal is, there's still time to invite 2 more people to join you to be accountability partners with you. Okay? You can also incorporate, would you like to get half your money back? Or you can tag that on to the end of, oh, by the way, you got to invite your accountability partners, you also get half your money back. Right? So who do you know? Who do you know? That's a Lynn Hagedorn question. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know who drinks protein shakes? Who do you know who'd like to do this with you? Who do you know you'd like as an accountability partner? Yes, planting the seed, absolutely. And once they start to notice results, our goal is to ask consultant building questions in every conversation. So they're starting to notice results. We all love to get those texts and those messages that say, oh my gosh, I lost 5 pounds and I feel amazing and I'm fitting in my skinny jeans. They're just raving about it and it's great, and you celebrate with them. Then at some point you can ask them, hey, would you be open to sharing that in a Facebook post on your profile? And you know what? 9 times out of 10 they are. Sometimes we make a big deal out of it, like, oh, let's make a Facebook post and plug it into a template, and that works really well sometimes. But sometimes if we just incorporate this question into our conversations with them, would you be open to posting that on Facebook? If they say yes, then what I do, and I encourage you to do the same, is to take their words that they have written to you about their incredible success and put it into a draft post, just like they would put it. Right? Fit it in, make it sound exciting, and use their words and send it back to them. Say, how is this? Would you post this? And they'll either copy and paste it, yeah, sure, I'll do that, or they will edit it to make it sound like them, or they might even completely rewrite it. But I find that if I've provided a draft, they're more likely to do it. I used to ask, hey, send me a draft and then we'll collaborate on it together. And that worked if they were especially motivated. But if they're just a casual user and you've asked them, hey, would you be open to posting on Facebook? Sometimes it's better if you create the first draft and then share it with them. And it's worth the effort to do that, because then, you can coach them. Their friends start asking, yeah, what is it? Oh my gosh, this is great. So you can coach them through every step and help them add their people to the product page. Okay? Great. And then you can also ask consultant building questions as you continue to follow up. So they're continuing to see results. I like to ask, well, who's noticing your results? Who's giving you compliments, right? Who's noticed the difference in you? And you can ask that, and they'll start, my coworkers, or my husband, or my sister, or my mom. And you might not even take it any further at that point, but just make a mental note to yourself about those people, and you can ask about them later on, or you can ask about them in the moment when they're say, well, how about those people? Are they looking to lose weight, or do they feel like you felt before you started Isogenics? Do they know what you're doing? Have you shared it with them? Right? You just ask who's complimenting you, who's noticing, and then you can help show them that this is just the opportunity to share. So who do you know who feels the same way that you felt, right? So that's another one you could pull. Another fun one that you can do, especially if they've been ordering for a while, right? So this is a little bit later on. If they've been ordering for a while and they're your personally enrolled, and especially if you've been building your business, they most likely have people under them, even if they have done nothing, people that you have continued to grow and build and put under them. So if that's the case, it's fun to just take a moment, log into your account, check how many people are below them. Say, hey, did you know that you have 229 people on your team? I got to share that with somebody this weekend. That was really cool. She's like, how did that happen? It's because I've been building even though you haven't, and my people count for you. That's fun. Or even if it's 2 or 3 people. Did you know you have 3 people on your team? That's a big deal. They're like, how? How did that happen? And that's great. Or how many points they have. Calculate their points, right? And say, did you know that you have, and I would, like we talked about in the compensation plan, take all 3 numbers, their right leg, their left leg, and their personal. Did you know that you have 3,000 points? They don't even know what that means until you tell them, which you will, but it sounds like a lot, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. What does that mean? You divide that number by 900. That's your number of cycles that are stored. Multiply it by $54. That's how much money they have stored with them. Did you know that you have, I have somebody like this right now, $1,200 worth of cycles stored for you right now? And you just ask, they're like, what? And then if you get that kind of response, like, how is that possible? You say, well, would you like me to show you how to monetize that? And then they become open. And then it's just a matter of referring to people. Creating consultants isn't necessarily a matter of finding business builders. It's a matter of finding the raving fan culture that we were just talking about and having them share with a friend, a family member, a couple of people naturally as they would share anything that they love that they've experienced great results with. Okay, so I'm going to continue to share a couple of tips, but I want to first review those 3 steps to building consultants. 1 is to be duplicatable. 2 is to create a raving fan culture. And 3 is to ask consultant building questions in each conversation or as often as you can, right? So I'm going to share a couple tips, then we're going to open up for questions. So get your questions ready, and we'll touch on those. Okay, so first tip is when you're building consultants, think of it similarly to how you think about prospecting, talking to new people. Because if you ever feel frustration in prospecting, typically it's because you feel like you've run out of people, which we all know that really never happens. But if we feel like we've run out of people to talk to and everybody's saying no, which be sure to watch your words, because what you edify, you get more of. So I'd encourage you never to say that. But when it's feeling like that, that's when we're most frustrated. So what do we do in prospecting? We go talk to more people. And then we feel great because more people are interested. And creating consultants, it's similar. When we reach a frustration point, it's usually because we feel like nobody's sharing, nobody's doing anything. And so we can get stuck in that, especially if we stop doing what we're supposed to be doing and we stop personally enrolling. But if we're continually bringing new people in, we have more and more opportunities to share these consultant building questions and to build new consultants. So it's important to always stay into action and think about it like that, and recognize that not everyone is going to share. And after you're in this for a while, it really kind of blows your mind, because you're like, these people have had amazing results. Like, why would they not share with people? Or they have this much money stored up. Why would they not want to monetize it? And I'll tell you, people have different reasons. People have different stories in their head. But it's up to us just to keep layering the questions and to support them, meet them where they are, but also show them what they can have and what is available to them. Okay? So that's the first tip. And the second tip is to really understand the compensation plan and to use the double PIBs. So remember, when you personally enroll 2 or more people in a week, the PIBs are going to double, right? So what happens a lot of times is that somebody who has no intention to share will have somebody approach them, hey, like that shake thing you're doing, you look great, like I want to join, how do I do that? And they call you in a panic, somebody wants to join, what do I do? So you get on a 3-way call with them, you take care of it, you sign up one person, you take care of that one. And then you tell them, okay, you signed up your friend with this basic system. that's going to give you a $25 referral bonus. Congratulations. But did you know that if you refer just one more person by Sunday, you're going to turn that $25 into $150? How would that be? And they're like, whoa, that's crazy. And so remember the math, so that 25 is going to double. If they roll another one with the same pack, that's a 25 that'll double. So it's 50 and 50, 100, plus they get the $50 rank advancement bonus for achieving consultant for the first time, right? If one person comes in with a 30-day premium pack, which is a $50 bonus for you, which doubles, you say, hey, if you have, and whenever I double it, I always assume that they're going to bring the second person in at the same level as the first person. So, hey, how would you like to turn your $50 into $250? You can do it with just one more referral by Sunday, right? So use that. And as it's 80, if they enroll a President's Pack / Value Pack, how would you like to turn that $80 into $370 cash back? You can do it with just one more referral by Sunday. Or how would you like to turn your $150 if they enroll an ultimate pack into $650 with just one more of those this week? That's pretty exciting. One more, right? So typically when you get somebody with one, it's easier to get them excited about two. Thank you to Isagenix and their genius compensation plan and the double PIBs, double product introduction bonus, okay? Plus, if you're calculating that for them, you got their first bonus, it's going to double. The second bonus is going to double. You have the $50 rank advancement bonus. Don't forget to go back and look at their cycles. If they've been in the company for a while, ordering products, staying active, they probably have a good sum of money, and you can calculate, remember, their personal holding volume will automatically fall into their shorter leg, and if they have stored volume on the leg that they share with you, you can calculate how many cycles they're going to cycle immediately with the 300-600 split, and you can add that. How would you like to turn your $25 into $500, right, which has happened? That's motivating because you can include the numbers from the cycles in there. All right. So that's creating consultants, and that's it. And again, it's a skill to develop and to continue doing. It doesn't end at executive. It continues because it's important to always remain paid as executive, and it's just part of what we do, is helping people duplicate, get their products paid for, and the magic of our business. So if you have questions about creating consultants, I'd love for you to share. Go ahead and start typing them in. If I'm still answering a question and you have another one, go ahead and type it in, because there is a delay from when you type it and when I see it, and I will scroll through and make sure I get through all of your questions. So, hi everybody, excited for you all joining us. This is super fun. The core skill of our business, how to create consultants. Help somebody get their products paid for, create residual income for themselves, and help you rank advance to the next level. Okay. Number 2 personally enrolled consultants is manager. 6 personally enrolled consultants is director, and that can be on either side. 10 personally enrolled consultants is executive, and that must be 5 on the left and 5 on the right. All right. And then it duplicates, it duplicates, it duplicates, it duplicates, it duplicates. Awesome. All right, we have a question. Great. From Mandar, will you enroll someone under your personally enrolled associate to make them a consultant? That is a great question. So basically what Mandar is asking is, okay, so you've personally enrolled a couple people, then you have another person that wants to join. Do you add them personally enrolled, or do you put them under one of your personally enrolled? I will tell you, I will encourage you to always personally enroll your own people and not put them under someone else. There are a few exceptions, I would say. If you are, for example, running for Crystal Executive and you're on number 9, as close to the deadline, you have everyone in place, you just need one more, maybe you'd put somebody under, right? Or if it makes sense, like it's a family member and it helps you to help that person. But you know, I'll tell you honestly, if you build consultants for people, it's not a very stable business. And you want a stable business. You want it to really stand. You want to help people get to consultants, not create consultants. And I did this in the beginning, and I've done it a couple times, mostly for family members. And there's not always a black and white line of when you should and when you shouldn't. I would say 99% of the time, if it's somebody that you brought in, personally enroll them. Now, at the same time, you don't want to compete with your team. So like if I've been speaking with somebody and somebody else on my team also speaks to that same person, I'm probably going to help that person enroll under my team member to help them, right? Because I have an abundance mindset. But if my personally enrolled is not involved at all in talking with that person and that person is ready, I'm going to personally enroll them under me. So I hope that adds some clarity. If you have specific situations, just come to me or come to your enrolling sponsor, your upline mentor, and they'll be able to help you judge the best. And also, you want people who are motivated and incentivized to become consultants on their own. And if you add somebody that you've enrolled under somebody else and they become a consultant on their own, you've lost that as a personally enrolled consultant in the attempt to try to create one that isn't a real one. So I hope that's a great question, Mandar. It comes up a lot. I hope that answered your question as well. Thank you, Beth, for the reminder. Yes, married people always have to have one enrolled by the other. So for example, if you're trying to go consultant and your mom and dad want to enroll, don't put one on your right, one on your left. Enroll one of them under you and enroll the spouse under them. That's the correct way to do that. Great. Okay, thanks, Cheryl. I have to see more. It's a long question. Okay, do you have any ideas or advice on how I can build a team mentality of all those I've personally enrolled? Or is it better to keep them all under Team on Fire team nickname, which, by the way, is incredible. Thank you. Awesome. You are all part of Team on Fire, and that is great. But as soon as you feel like I want a team culture, you can build that in addition to what you have. Anyone's welcome to do that at any time. I really feel like you'll sense it within yourself to do that. I know some leaders within our team have chosen to create a separate Facebook page. Some leaders have chosen to create a separate message thread, and that's good, and they just stay plugged in. It really depends on what you're communicating with your team. And I just really feel if you feel like that's a value for you, then go for it. You don't have to have your own team name. It's kind of fun to do that, but it's not required, but you can definitely do that. So just consider, if it's a repeat, if you're like going to copy stuff from our page, then maybe a page isn't a value, but maybe a message thread would be. But it's definitely about you will as you grow in leadership, you will create your own Facebook page at some point. When that is really up to you. So again, not a black and white answer to that question, but I hope that helps. A great question, you guys. I love how you're thinking. All right, any other questions? I'll wait just a second to see if there's a delay. Okay, so if you're watching the recording and you have questions about building consultants, feel free to comment on this video. I'll get a notification and I will come back and answer them. Or you can post them as a separate post in the page and we will go from there. So thank you guys so much for being on this training. This was a lot of fun. And I know from the momentum that we've had the last couple of weeks that this is going to be really valuable for your team and for us as a big team. So thank you all. Love you. Good night. And go create some consultants this week. Bye-bye.